Hey everyone, it's Lane with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to talk about the Emperor's shiniest boys and girls, the Adeptus Custodes. This is my first time actually playing them at all, period, in 10th edition. So there's a lot of people that are out there playing them pretty regularly. So you can give me tons of feedback on this list and, of course, in the battle report itself. Let me know what I messed up, what I forgot, that sort of thing. I'm sure there's going to be things that I forget. I've had Custodes for a while. I've got a nice sized collection, so I'm glad to have them on the table. They look really cool. It's fun to play an elite army. Today, just big old squads of Custodes. The Caladius grab tanks are really good, but I've only got one of them, so we're only gonna have one of those on the table today. And I figured I was just gonna run the big, massive blobs of super hardy Custodes. I am not really a combat, melee player. Obviously, I play 40K, so I play melee to some degree. But this army is just a lot of fighting. So we're going to see how I do, see if I screw up. The good news is everything's got a 2-up save, so DJ's AP nothing guns won't do a whole lot. So we'll see how that kind of balances out. It's going to come down to the fighting. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully I don't forget my rules to let me fight first all the time. So let's get over to the list, talk a little bit about it, see what I brought today. And as always, I welcome your feedback on this, guys. Here we go. Here they are in all their golden glory, my Adeptus Custodes list. We've got, to start off with, 3 characters. Well, I guess we start with the Custodes special rules. They have martial katas, which I'm really glad they simplified from 9th edition. They were just a little too complicated for me for 9th edition, and it's kind of one of my secondary or tertiary armies. I didn't play them often because it was too much to remember how you placed out the katas, what they did, and their different activations and all that stuff. So now it's very simple. At the start of any fight phase, you just choose which one you want to be active. I don't remember what they're called. I just remember what they do. So first of all, you can use a defensive kata and make yourself -1 to hit, or you can make all your hits lethal, or you can make all your hits sustained. So those are the 3 options. In either fight phase, it's not relying on somebody completing a charge or anything. It's just the fight phase. The whole army gets it. So we'll have that in effect. And of course, Custodes special rule is that they have a 4-up, feel no pain to mortal wounds. So that will be useful. I'm sure there'll be some mortals that DJ's army is kicking out here. So let's get down to the list. Characters. We have 3. About 3 of the chunkiest characters I can find. I've got the Blade Champion, or the Blade Wizard, as Tabletop Titans fans might call him. The Blade Champion, he's going to be doing his thing. He'll be leading probably the Wardens. I haven't really decided yet. I haven't actually decided who these people are going to lead, so I might have to get back to you. I might have to check out the battle report for that. But we do have the Blade Champion. He's got the one enhancement I have, which is Inspirational Exemplar. So that means anybody, first of all, he's leadership 5, and once per battle, at the start of any phase, I can select a friendly Adeptus Custodes unit within 12 inches of him, and that unit becomes not battle shocked. So if I do fail a battle shock test, he can un-battle shock them. As far as his actual abilities and whatnot, he's pretty cool. He buffs the unit he's attached to quite a bit. He's got a couple abilities. First of all, while his model is leading a unit, you can reroll advance and charge rolls. And once per battle, you can declare a charge in a turn that unit advanced. So it gives them reroll advances and charges, and once per game, advance and charge. And then his once per game, or then his other ability is that you can always target this model's unit with a heroic intervention strat for 0 CP, even if that's already been used this turn. So that's another useful one for a fighting unit here. So we've got him, the Blade Champion. Of course, he has a ton of attacks and a variety of attacks, so you can choose whether you want to try to, depending on your target. Well, I'm not going to get into them all here because there's a lot going on with this fight. So it just depends on what type of opponent I'm fighting. Next, we have just the good old Shield Captain. My Shield Captain here has a sword and shield. Just because I don't have really an extra captain anywhere based on the models I have. Probably ought to build just a basic captain. But he's got a sword and shield. He's distinguishable from the other sword and shield guys because he does have a cloak. like a robe on him. So we've got him. He's going to be leading a squad as well. I'll probably put him with the sword and board guys just for visual coherency, I guess. His abilities: at the start of a fight phase, you can select a kata stance, and until the end of the phase, that stance is active for this model of his unit, in addition to the one that is active for the whole army. So basically, his unit gets to take 2 different katas. And then once per battle, at the start of a fight phase, all the katas are active for this model's unit until the end of the phase. And then he has another ability. It's basically the Space Marine Captain ability where once per battle round, one model from your army can use a strat for 0 CP, even if that's already been used. Even that strat's already been used this turn. That is our shield captain, appropriately carrying a shield. And then we've got Trajan Valoris. I'm bringing Trajan because I like the paint, the way the paint turned out on him. Hope DJ is going to show you a picture of the lion pelt that's on his back. I'm really happy with how that turned out. So he's got several abilities here. First of all, while he's leading a unit, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the characteristics of models in that unit, and or any roll or test made for models in that unit, other than modifiers to saving rolls. So they don't take any modifiers for anything really. We'll see how that comes up in this game. And then his other ability is the Moment Shackle. This is his once per game ability. So once per game, you can choose one of these 3 things. Either he goes to attacks, his Watcher's Axe melee weapon goes to attacks characteristic of 12, which is hilarious, which I really want to use. Or you can make his model have a 2-up invuln for the phase, or the models in his unit have fight first. So I can choose one of those once per game, not all 3 of them once per game. That is Trajan Valoris. Now, as for the battle line, I've got 2 9-man bricks of Custodian Guard. Just to keep everything simple, one is all 9 spears, and the other one is all sword and board. So we've got 9 in each of those squads. Let's check on their special abilities here. Sorry, guys. This is, like I said, first time playing them in 10th, so I'm going to have to read some of this stuff as we're going through it. Oh, yeah. So each time any Custodian Guard make an attack, they always reroll wound rolls of 1. And if they are within range of an objective marker, if their unit is within range of an objective marker that you control, you can reroll the wound roll instead, the whole wound roll. So rerolling 1s to wound all the time, and whole wound roll whenever they are within range of an objective marker they control. And then, of course, they have Sentinel Storm as their other special ability, their once per battle ability. In the shooting phase, this unit can shoot again. After it completes its shots, it can shoot again once per game. Then the other battle line unit, we've got some little action monkeys. We got 5 of the Sisters of Silence prosecutors, just their basic bolt guns. Nothing too fancy there. I'm sorry, 4 of them. Their ability, they have a 3-up feel no pain to psychic attacks, and anytime they target a psyker unit, their attacks become precision and have the devastating wounds ability. So we'll see if that comes into play at all. There are definitely some psychic enemies we have in the Grey Knights today, so I don't know if they'll contribute a whole lot with their basic bolters, but they'll get devastating wounds. We'll see how it works out. Next, we have 2 2-man squads of the Alaris Custodians, the Terminators. So these guys have the ability, of course, to deep strike like everyone else does, but in addition to that, once per game, they can actually pick up off the table. And so at the end of one of my opponent's turns, they'll be able to pick up and then drop down again in my reserve step as deep strike. And then their other ability, every time they target a character, monster, or vehicle unit, you can re-roll the whole wound roll. This is kind of useful because it says character, monster, or vehicle unit. So if any unit has characters attached to it, they will re-roll the entire wound roll. And of course, monsters and vehicles too. Next, we've got 1 of the Custodes grab tanks. I've only got 1 of these, so we're just going to use that today. This has the Custodes has the Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon. It has 4 shots, hits on 2s, strength 12, AP -3, and it is D6 plus 2 damage. It is twin linked, so it does get to reroll its wound rolls. The abilities for this guy, every time he attacks with the The Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon, when he targets a monster or vehicle unit, becomes lethal hit. So he has lethal hits against monsters and vehicles. And then finally, we've got one 6-man squad of the Wardens. These guys are really strong. They've got axes on them. I'm going to be using them as spears today because the spears are just much better. I, of course, built these guys back when axes were better. Same thing with the Terminators. I think for most folks, they use them kind of interchangeably because they are just halberd type weapons. But we're going to use them as the spears today. The Wardens, super durable, obscenely durable. So their special rules. First of all, when a character is leading the unit, so we're definitely going to have a character leading this unit, anytime they are attacked by a strength, weapon that has a strength characteristic that is greater than their toughness characteristic, you subtract 1 from the wound rolls. Super powerful, especially combined with their once per battle ability, Living Fortress. Once per battle, the unit just has a 4-up feel no pain against everything. It's really good. It's really frustrating when I've played into it in the past, and so now I get to push that frustration onto someone else. So we'll see how they do today. That's it. That is the whole list. As I said, this will be the first time I'm playing my Golden Boys in 10th edition. So go easy on me in the comments, but I do welcome the comments because I want to learn how to make this a little bit better. I've been enjoying the Death Watch as my main competitive army, but I'm maybe tempted to play Custodes a bit. There are a lot of Custodes players in our local meta, so I don't know if I really want to do that. But I like the army. I like my paint job on them. I'm proud of how they look. And like I said, they're just fun to play sometimes. So we'll see how things go today. Let me know what you think. Whether you think it's going to be the Custodes, the Emperor's Goldenest boys, or the Emperor's Silverest boys, the Grey Knights that come out on top in the battle report. I'm interested to see how this goes. So follow me over to the battle report, and we'll see you guys there.